My name is Ronnie Esposito. I am a co-founder of Acton Academy, Pittsburgh. I was driving home one day from work listening to a podcast. One of the people that were being interviewed was talking about their child going to school and it being student-led. And it really intrigued me, so I kept listening to the interview. And they mentioned Acton Academy. So I immediately started Googling Acton Academy and found that the main Acton was in Texas. I went home and I told my wife we're moving to Austin, Texas, and she said, no, we're not. And I found out that you can create your own Acton and went through an arduous process that led us ultimately to be the first Acton Academy that opened up in the state of Pennsylvania.
I was a traditional teacher in a third grade classroom in Massachusetts, and I thought, oh my gosh, that's exactly how I would want to teach if I had the opportunity. I would love that kind of school. And then I moved to Pennsylvania, and I ended up, of course, being a mom, which changes your perspective on education and on virtually everything. And so I ended up meeting Ronnie and Megan and some other families that were interested in looking for something a little different, a better match. And when I described what I would do as a teacher if I could just make my own school, Acton Academy already had that in play.
Acton turns the educational system upside down. We all grew up, or at least I grew up, in front of a teacher who we were kind of forced to sit there and listen to the information that was told to us. We would stress out over memorizing different facts, and then obviously you're gauged by a test that you were to take. I did okay in school because I studied a lot. I memorized, and then once I got through that part, I dumped it. What Acton does is it's more student-led. We have a mixed age of, ages 6 through 12 at this point, and will grow in the future to older ages. But we have a mixed age group that allows our eagles, we call them, to work together. And they feed off of each other's energy. They push each other to different limits that isn't something that is able to be structured in a public school setting.
It's the easiest, hardest thing you will ever be a part of, because as a family and as an eagle who's a learner in the projects that are in the studio, it requires you to take the freedom and really make it your own. And so it's your own personal journey, but I think we're so accustomed to having this idea of what school is supposed to be, and we're going to do math for this time, and we're going to do science here, and then we have phys ed for this 45-minute block. This is not that. This is an unschooling feel. This is about mastering exactly what you're looking at. So if I'm working on a math problem, it's not about getting it right for the test. It's about, I really understand this. I have this, and now I'm ready for more.
The day is broken down into segments. We have a Socratic discussion in the morning, which allows the eagles to engage in a situation, whether it be in the studio or a real-world scenario, that would allow them to kind of raise their hand, and the ball is tossed out there, and then they kind of kick around different ideas of how to solve that, and you have to take a hard stance whether you agree or disagree with that, and then you have to explain why. And you can respectfully disagree with your peers, but you have to just come up with evidence to support your stance. So we're really trying to grow their minds in order to learn to do, and learn to be, rather than learn just to know and regurgitate facts. From there we go into core skills. A lot of that is driven through computer-based programs, or you can use the BBB system, Brains, Buddies, or Books, to allow for further collaboration.
If you think about a hero's journey, sometimes it's in literature, you can kind of trace that within a story, but if you start thinking about that in your own life, the lens really brings things into focus. In a hero's journey, you start off with a call to action. So maybe that's, I'm going to learn algebra today, or maybe I'm going to learn multiplication today. And then you work through that, and you find the resources, the mentors, the people who are going to help you through that. You get your skills, then you go on your quest. So that might be taking the mastery test on Khan Academy or something like that. And then you have that hero's journey back home, because you've done that full circle, you've really made it happen. That lens of the hero's journey is what we try to foster at Acton Academy. It's kind of a crux, a core value, if you will, because it's everywhere. It can be as small as a math problem, as big as a conflict with a friend. It could be anything. And you really have to sort of bring it back to, okay, what do I need? What are the tools? What are the resources? And how do I ask the questions to get to the next level?
What I love about this is it's individualized to each person. They're allowed to grow at their own pace. They're allowed to experience learning at their own pace and focus on what it is that they love.